Blood pooled everywhere. The scene before him was grotesque, almost surreal. Her neck had been gashed open as if torn apart by 3 savage claws, the edges jagged and cruel. Her eyes, wide open and glazed over, captured the horror of her final moments, a silent scream frozen in time. The shock and terror etched into them were almost a mirror to his own heart's turmoil. Nothing about this scene made sense to him, yet it was a memory that clung to his very soul. A young boy stood, paralyzed, his face splattered with the warm blood of his once living mother. The chilling grip of solitude wrapped around him, a stark, unyielding truth whispering that he was now utterly alone. Kenichi's gaze, previously lost in the ghastly image of his past, began to clear as the cacophony of the Academy's gymnasium pulled him back to the present. The vivid, haunting memories of his mother seemed to recede, like shadows at dawn, replaced by the lively, bustling energy of hopeful students. It was as if walking from a nightmare into a dream filled with youthful chatter and the discernible buzz of anticipation. In the gymnasium, high ceilings loomed above, encapsulating the buzz of potential ambition from hundreds of other teams. The air was charged with the mix of excitement and anxiety, the murmurs of countless conversations weaving through the space, feeling both confining and infinite. The scent of polished wood mingled with the determination and sweat of hopeful youths, painting a vivid backdrop to the dreams that filled the room.
Kenichi. Kenichi. Kenichi.
His friend's voice, persisted and edged with concern, cut through the remnants of his reverie, grounding him firmly in the now. Akito's brow furrowed with worry as he observed his friend's distant gaze.
Dude, where were you just now? You totally zoned out on me.
Kenichi focused on Akito's face, noting the concern flickering behind his playful scowl. Shaking off the last vestige of his disturbing thoughts, Kenichi forced a smile, his face carrying a hint of forced enthusiasm.
Don't worry, Akito. Just imagining how great it'd be if we got selected as Seda Guardians in our first year.
Kenichi tried to mask the remnants of his turmoil with a hopeful tone, the mention of Seda Guardians sparking a light in his eyes.
Say, have you decided on what type of Tenkin you want to use? Haven't given it much thought, really. I mean, so long as it allows me to use my full power, I really don't care. Can't have the thing breaking on me now, can I? When all this awesomeness shines out there.
Akito boasted, laughing heartily as he comically swung an imaginary weapon, eliciting a mix of amused and bewildered looks from nearby students. As Kenichi's gaze lingered on his friend, he couldn't help but wonder.
Does he even grasp what a Tenkin truly is?
Yet, in the midst of his own tumultuous thoughts, Akito's lightheartedness served as a grounding force. The gymnasium, with its ambient noise and a sea of eager faces, momentarily faded into the background, allowing Kenichi a brief respite from the storm of his memories. Akito's simple, unguarded ambition was a balm, pulling Kenichi back to the present and anchoring him to the possibilities that lay ahead at the academy. The atmosphere in the gymnasium underwent a startling transformation. What was once a room buzzing with chatter and laughter of hopeful students suddenly felt charged with a perceptible tension, an electric anticipation that made Kenichi's skin tingle and his hair stand on end. This was no mere shift in mood. It was as if the very air had become a conduit for a formidable, unseen force. Kenichi's heartbeat accelerated, a primal response not to fear or excitement, but to the raw power that saturated the room. It was an instinctual alert to the overwhelming presence, one that his senses acknowledged even before his mind could grasp its source. His muscles coiled in readiness, a reflex against a danger his eyes had not yet discerned. And then she made her appearance. Upon the stage emerged a figure who commanded the space with an aura of unassailable authority. Clad in armor that seemed less worn than bonded to her, she was an embodiment of strength and command. The suit, a marvel of engineering and Shakti, adhered to her form as if it were a second living skin. Its torso piece emphasized her powerful physique, while the gauntlets and greaves extended over her limbs in sleek, fluid lines that ended in sharp, claw-like protrusions. These elements did not merely suggest protection, but hinted at a deadly grace, transforming her into a figure of awe and intimidation. The armor itself was a spectacle of design and power, crafted from materials that seemed to absorb and refract light. It shimmered with a vibrant liquid quality, casting an ethereal glow around her. Its scales, a deep purplish hue streaked with shadows, moved with her, creating a mesmerizing play of light that suggested not just a wearer, but a warrior fused with her armor. Kenichi, along with every student in the gym, was spellbound by the sight. The phenomenon they were witnessing transcended mere physical appearance. It was the essence of presence made manifest. The air around them felt denser, imbued with an intensity that made it seem as though they were under a weight of an invisible ocean. The power emanating from her was not merely authoritative, but otherworldly. A declaration to a being who wielded forces beyond their comprehension. This was Galestorm, revered and feared in equal measure, known not just as the principal of the academy, but as the slayer of one of the 4 celestial beasts of Sochiban. Her reputation was that of a legend come to life. As she walked to the podium, her presence was like a live wire, electrifying the atmosphere. The charged air moving with her, a testament to the control over the elements. The all-impalpable sense of power that filled the room was a mere glimpse into the depths of her capabilities. Yet, as she began to address the assembly, the oppressive aura that enveloped the room began to recede, allowing the students to breathe more easily, though the undercurrent of her immense power remained, a subtle reminder of the storm that lay beneath the calm.
For those unaware, I am Zenavia Prime, Commanding General of the Kali Military Force and President of Kali Shadow Military Academy, one of 3 military academies in the region of Sochiban. Our mission is to mold young individuals like yourself into guardians capable of responding to any task at a moment's notice. This academy stands apart. It is not here to offer lessons on how the world works or to prepare you for conventional careers. We are a military school, focused solely on your mission and the 3 guiding principles upon graduation. Your survival and success here depends on trust in your partner, trust in yourself, and belief that together you can surpass insurmountable challenges. These principles are not just the foundation of our academy, they are your lifeline to graduation. I wish you all the best in this endeavor. Thank you.
With those final words and a slight bow, the Prime vanished as swiftly and as mysteriously as she had appeared, leaving a charged silence in her wake.
Hey, Kenichi, what do you think she meant by trusting your partners? No one ever mentioned having partners. Do you think we get to choose? So we should team up. It gives us a huge advantage, knowing each other's strengths so well.
Kenichi, his mind a world of thoughts and emotions, found himself grappling with the implications of the Prime's words.
I've scoured every piece of information about this academy,
He thought,
and there was nothing about mandatory partnerships. What else is hiding beneath the surface here?
despite the uncertainty, the idea of facing this unknown with Akito by his side was reassuring.
If partnership is a cornerstone of survival here, there's no one better suited to be my ally than Akito.
A grin tugged at the corner of his mouth as a flicker of confidence ignited within him.
Maybe my dream of becoming a Sata Guardian just became more attainable.
Ahem. If I could have your attention.
A commanding voice boomed across the assembly hall, immediately commanding silence. The presence behind the voice demanded respect, its tone leaving no room for doubt or dissent.
My name is Kiyoshi Fukutaru, head training instructor at KSMA. You stand here as nothing more than potential in my eyes. A potential that is yet to prove its worth. Understand this. The path you aspire to walk is fraught with peril, and the principles you've been introduced to are your only guide through the darkness that lies ahead.
He paused for a moment, ensuring his words had sunk in before continuing.
Trust in your partner. Trust in yourself. Believe in your combined strength to overcome any challenge. These are not mere words, but the bedrock upon which your survival will depend. However, let me make one thing abundantly clear. Misunderstanding these principles is as good as sealing your own fate. Trust in your partner does not mean blind faith. It means understanding their strengths and weaknesses as well as your own. It's recognizing when to lead and when to follow, when to challenge and when to support. Misplace this trust, and you might as well dig your partner's grave with your own hands.
The recruits listened, captivated and unnerved by the stark reality Kiyoshi painted with his words.
Trusting in yourself is essential, but arrogance is a fatal flaw. Overestimating your abilities can lead to reckless decisions that not only endanger your life, but the lives of those around you. Your confidence must be tempered with wisdom and the understanding that true strength lies in unity, not individual prowess.
He took a moment to let his gaze sweep across the potential recruits, his scrutiny as sharp as a blade.
And believing in your ability to overcome challenges together does not imply invincibility. It requires a synergy that goes beyond mere cooperation. It demands a bond where you and your partner must move as one, think as one, and fight as one. Without this unity, even the simplest tasks can become insurmountable obstacles. Komei Seidai. This is the culmination of your understanding and applications of these principles. Achieve this, and you will not only survive, but thrive within the academy and beyond. Fail to grasp this, and you are nothing more than chaff to be winnowed out.
His final words were a solemn reminder of the voyage's gravity ahead.
Remember, you are not students, you are potential recruits, and it is your responsibility to prove your worth. In my eyes, you are less than nothing until you demonstrate otherwise. The path to becoming a guardian is paved with sacrifice, discipline, and an unyielding will to surpass your limits. If you are not prepared to embrace this reality, then you have no place here.
As the weight of his message settled across the assembly, Kiyoshi's stern facade momentarily softened, revealing a glimpse of the rigorous path that lay ahead for these potential recruits. Inwardly, he mused.
Although stunned, I know these fresh new students have come to understand that passing this academy is not an independent endeavor.
The life they thought was most important is no longer their own.
Now, I assume there aren't any questions, so we will move on to the medical—
Hey, clown!
The sudden disrespect sliced through the silence. Heads turned, scanning the crowd for the source of such audacity. The students parted, allowing a path for the challenger, boldly approaching the podium to stand defiant before Mr. Kiyoshi.
Kenichi, this guy looks like trouble.
Akito whispered, eyes wide at the sight of the challenger's scars and the massive broadsword strapped to his back.
Blade's nearly as tall as he is.
Must be one of those exceptional talents, Kenichi whispered back, equally in awe.
But those scars, he's seen real battle, not just training simulations.
Listen here, clown. I didn't come to this academy to be shackled with some ball and chain of a partner. I'm here to become stronger. I've already taken down countless monsters back home, and now you expect me to babysit these weaklings? That's not happening, especially not on the say-so of some school instructor.
The disdain in his voice was apparent, his contempt for authority clear. Kiyoshi's smirk was barely concealed.
Ah, so being partnered is akin to wearing a ball and chain to you? You believe you're stronger alone than with a team?
You're damn right. I should not dilute my strength to elevate these nobodies.
Interesting perspective, Mr.
Hosen, Jakar Hosen, but call me Cleaver. Me and my Hirakido here are known for splitting monsters in two.
A ripple of snickers spread through the crowd at his declaration.
Fame really does come with its own nicknames, huh?
Kenichi thought, amused.
But when no one knows who you are, they just sound ridiculous.
All right, Mr. Cleaver, let's test your theory. Win against one of our training units, and you can continue training solo without the ball and chain. How does that sound?
Jakar's grin was all the answer Kiyoshi needed.
Bring it on. I don't expect your puppets to last long against a real monster slayer.
As you wish, Mr. Cleaver. Proceed to the designated combat area.
Kiyoshi directed, his motion crisp, embodying military precision.
Initiate Unit 2 with evasion protocols.